And these are diplomas from the Logier Conservatory. Actually, these are posters, and if anybody, specifically the performers, if I haven't got to you, make sure I do. Get to me and get one of these. If there's any extra, we'll pass it on. Now we're going to have somebody to read some poetry for us and say a few words and introduce Pat Logier himself on recording. Please welcome one of the people who helped organize this concert, Donna Marie Haslehurst.
Donna!
It's been a long time since I've been in front of a microphone. Okay. All right. If only I could sing, I'd be up here giving voice to Pat's creativity, but alas, I cannot sing, so I'm stuck with the spoken word, and that is what you'll hear. Pat was the gentleman who introduced me to myself. He was my first love. He was my starting place. He was my first chapter. Like others before me, like others after me, Pat wove me into the magic of his life. And on the theme of magic and Pat, I want to share two memories with you. The first is a poem. Pat, my two children, my daughters and I, we all lived in the wilds of the Toronto suburbs. This would have been in 1987, 88, 89. It was not our natural environment. I wrote this poem after standing in a suburban shopping mall waiting for Pat to emerge from the subway exit. It's called Suburban Miracles. I remember looking at you, not at first recognizing that it was you, and thinking, he is just an ordinary man. He might be anyone. His shoes could carry anyone. His pants might hide any set of hairy legs. His jacket keep any heart shielded. His gait be one of any crowd. And I was shocked that you were any man. And as you looked at me across the bodies, hurried and crowded, I understood that magic is what love brings, that miracles are alive and well in shopping malls. And that's how I felt about Pat. Now I will tell a story. One afternoon, I don't know, perhaps this says more about me than it does about Pat. It's how I felt about him. One afternoon when we lived together, Pat was in the living room playing with the stereo while I prepared lunch in the kitchen. And when I came out of the kitchen and around the corner, he was turning up the volume and turning it down. And what he was doing was, now see, I get this confused. I've got to read it out because he turned up the volume for a few seconds, then he listened to the song, and then he turned down the volume and repeated it exactly. He had a very good ear. He could do that. So he was doing that, and I came around the corner. And, you know, that's amusing, but not very magical. The magic was that I believed that the radio was mimicking him. I honestly believed that. That was the kind of thing that I believed that he could do. Obviously he didn't. It took me a few seconds to figure out that maybe he wasn't actually teaching the radio how to sing. And it was an epiphany for me. And I've always believed in the impossible. And he introduced me to the impossible on that occasion. So he was very magical to me. Pat was a complex, enigmatic, and spontaneously joyful man. He had incredible creative talent, and it was fueled by love and by joy. And I do believe that that is why he was so special. He loved people, and he loved life. I can still see him silhouetted against the dark sky on the shores of Georgian Bay. He stood alone on the beach, cigarette in hand, quietly gazing out across the water into the distant sky. And that is where my heart always finds him. Before I give the stage back to music, or to Pat's voice, I would like to say that David Logier, Pat's father, is thrilled that this event is taking place and would have loved to have been here. However, his health would not allow it. And he asked me if I would say hello to what he calls the friends. And that's all of you, Pat's friends. So hello from David. Shelley Speed, whom I've never met in the flesh, is living in Florida. Does someone know Shelley? No? Well, Speed's probably her married name.
Oh, Shelley, yeah, okay. We used to live with Kim. Kim and Shelley. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Shelley,
Yeah. Shelley that used to live with Kim?
Yeah. Cribbins. Shelley Cribbins.
Cribbins?
She had that crazy dog.
Oh, she had a crazy dog. Okay. She would have loved to have been here, and she sends her love to all. Okay. On a personal note, I personally would like to thank everyone involved in making this happen and everyone who's come here tonight. This was my heart's desire, and it's wonderful. I feel that Pat would be dancing in the aisles and laughing quite a bit. I would like to also thank David, Pat's father, for always remembering. To my daughters Jennifer and Nicole, who share family memories of Pat. To my husband Dwayne, who sees beyond the obvious and whose heart is as broad as his mind. To Steve Paul Sims, who actually made this happen. To Rob Minderman, keeps the music alive. And last but not least, to Pat's friends, the people who Pat loved and who he celebrated during his life and told many wonderful stories about all the people he'd known, and he enjoyed each and every friend, and now we're celebrating him. Thank you. God bless. I'd just like to add a few technical things. First of all, we're going to play a tape that David Logier compiled, and it consists of an interview just after the song "If I Knew Just What to Say" was purchased by Roger Whittaker. It includes a rendition of that song by Pat, and then a rendition of the same song by Roger Whittaker. And there's several versions of it. I'd also like to mention to everyone, for those who don't know, I do have a web page up that's about Pat. It would be wonderful to have stories and memories to add to that web page. I'll make the email or the address available to anybody, or the URL available to anybody. Please send in stories and memories, and I'll put them on there. It has some stuff on it now, and as I say, I can give you the URL. I'm collecting I've got a little orange book here. Nikki, could you hold up the orange book? I'd like to collect email addresses and keep in touch with people, particularly about the website and Pat's music. So now I think we can enjoy the music. This would be an interview by the Sarnia Radio, Pat Logier, and Logier, as they call him there, and his song, "If I Knew Just What to Say." Thank you.